Hello, we are back. We are up to scene 4, Act 1, scene 4. This is back at the castle. This is going to be King Duncan. This is his son Malcolm again. Okay? And if you remember, we had the whole situation with the Thane of Cawdor, who was the traitor and was ordered to be executed and his title to be given to Macebth, who got that out in the field, and he's on his way to see the king as was requested, but right now he's not there yet. All right, so Duncan turns to his son and asks, is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned? So he's asking what happened with Cawdor. All right, and his son Malcolm answers him, my liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw him die, who did report that very frankly he confessed his treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in his life became him like the leaving it. He died as one that had been studied in his death, to throw away the dearest thing he owed, as 'twere a careless trifle. Okay, so what happened? So he asked about Cawdor, is he dead? And what did his son tell them? They're not back yet, but I heard he is. And what did Cawdor do before he died? He didn't beg for his life. Even though he was a traitor, he died honorably. He's like, you're right. I committed treason. I deserve to die. Long live the king. And that was it. Okay. A very ironic thing he said. It's almost like a Ferris foul thing. Is like the best thing Cawdor ever did in his life was the way he died. All right. Duncan makes a final comment about this. There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. He was a gentleman on whom I built an absolute trust. He's talking about the old Thane of Cawdor. And there's some irony here because he's like, well, first of all, he says an expression that's very much like an expression we have, like you can't judge a book by its cover. He's like, boy, I never would have guessed it. You can't find the mind's art in the face. All right. He's like, I trusted him. Now, as he says that, who strolls in? But this is going to be Macebth, and this is going to be Banquo in the scene. Okay. The Hulk is Macebth. He's the big brute hero of the day. He comes walking in just as the king said, wow, I trusted that Thane of Cawdor. And the irony here is this is our new Thane of Cawdor. And what was he thinking of just a few minutes ago? He was thinking of maybe killing the king. So the irony of that. Anyway, as he walks in, the king sees him and says, "O worthiest cousin, the sin of my ingratitude, even now, was heavy on me. Thou art so far before, that swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake thee. Would thou hadst less deserved, that the proportion both of thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due than more than can all pay." All right. The interesting thing about this scene is the king is going to be saying a bunch of things to Macebth, and Macebth is hearing them with the idea that maybe I'm going to be king. Maybe I'm going to be king. Maybe I'm going to be king. The king was just saying, I owe you so much. And he basically said, I can't even begin to repay you. So what's Macebth start to think? Oh, maybe I'm going to be the next king. Maybe that's what he's talking about. Now, he doesn't say that. Macebth plays the modest hero and says, the service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your Highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything save toward your love and honor. So it's like, oh, please stop. Just being able to serve you is thanks enough, all right? Again, being very modest. But Duncan doesn't let it go at that. He says, welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of growing. So what did he just say? I've just started to repay you. So Macebth already knows he's got Cawdor, and now the king is saying, I'm going to give you even more. He's thinking like, maybe the witch is right. Maybe I'm going to be king. Duncan then turns to Banquo. Noble Banquo, thou hast no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart. So he says, Banquo, of course I owe you thanks too. And Banquo again gives a very polite, modest response. There if I grow, the harvest is your own. It's actually kind of a joke. All right. Duncan now speaks again. My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrows. Sons, kinsmen, thanes. Duncan is getting ready to make a public announcement. And what he's going to be announcing is he's going to officially name the next heir to the throne. There's a title for it. It's called the Prince of Cumberland. So whoever's the Prince of Cumberland is the heir to the throne. In England, it's the Prince of Wales. The Prince of Wales is the heir to the throne. That used to be Charles in England, but he actually gave that up for his son because Charles is actually quite old. And just several years ago, it was like, it doesn't make sense for me to become king at an advanced age. So he's actually forwent the title. But Duncan is going to be naming the new heir to the throne. What do you think Macbeth's thinking? As he starts to make this announcement, he's like, oh my God, this is it. It's going to be me. So he's standing there with, by the way, as you could say, by his announcement, there's a bunch of people there. And he says this, sons, kinsmen, thanes. Let's put his arms up. He's making a big announcement. And you whose places are the nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Malcolm, whom we name hereafter the Prince of Cumberland, which honor must not accompany, invest him only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. Okay. The announcement he just made named Malcolm the heir. That is exactly what everyone in the room would have expected. All he did was make it official. And by the way, why would he choose to say? Maybe because of the war. Maybe he was afraid, like, I can get killed. I should make it official and name my son the heir. Anyway, no one is shocked. No one is surprised. No one thinks an injustice was done, except Macbeth. When he was saying sons, kinsmen, Macbeth was probably like, okay, here we go. Getting ready to stand up. And he said, we'll establish on Malcolm. He's like, oh. So Macbeth is now upset, right? The last thing Duncan says is, from hence to Inverness and bind us further to you. Inverness is the name of Macbeth's castle. I try to get these things. I don't know if this is going to come out because it's really bright out. But I'm going to write this down. I just wrote Inverness, and that's Macbeth's castle. It sounds like... No, all right. I don't know if you could read that. It's too bright outside. I'll have to try to film this at night. It sounds like the king was kind of rude and invited himself. However, this is a tremendous honor. He's actually honoring Macbeth by saying, like, we're going to come to your castle tonight to celebrate. You're the big hero of the day. You just got the new promotion, then of quarter, and we're going to come to your castle to celebrate. All right? So that's what's going to happen. You have to remember, he has nothing but love and respect for Macbeth. He's so happy with him. And right now, he is so angry. He feels like he didn't get something that was due to him. And it was not due to him. He was thinking of it because of what the witches said, but it really wasn't due to him. To try to cover his anger, and it's hard when he's green like this to cover his anger, everybody knows. He says to Duncan, the rest is labor, which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave. He makes an excuse to run out of there. He says, I'll go tell my wife the king is coming for dinner. And he does. And as he's leaving, King says, my worthy quarter. Macbeth, as he steps out, this is now an aside. The Prince of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down or else overleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires, Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see. And he leaves. Okay, what did he just say? First of all, he's angry, and he's like, all right, I've got to do something about this Prince of Cumberland. When he had just maybe an hour ago decided, I'm going to see what happens, I'm going to let what be, he suddenly is like, well, it didn't come out the way he wanted it to be, so now he's got to do something about it. There's a number of times where there's the recurring imagery of light and darkness is associated with doing bad things at night, and the light is associated with good things, the truth being out in the open. That's why he basically said, let it be really dark so no one sees my heart's desires. So he goes out. This scene, it goes back to Duncan for a second, who says, true worthy Banquo, he is so full, so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. He's talking about Macbeth, and he's gushing about what a great guy he is, and how happy he is with them. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care is gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman. And the scene ends. Okay? So the important thing about the end of the scene, I think Shakespeare has him have the last line just to emphasize that he's got no idea Macbeth is upset. No one's got any idea that Macbeth is upset. Macbeth has no real reason to be upset, but he is. All right? And the next scene is going to be back at the castle, and we're going to meet Lady Macbeth. That's it.